Hi, everybody. It's Friday, March 20th. Of course, we're coming close to the end of the March break now, and it's time to start moving ahead and thinking about what next week looks like. You're going to see within this email two attachments. What I wanted to do in this video was to talk you through what's happening within the two attachments, what you're required to do, what we need you to help us out with, and perhaps provide some details that aren't in the two letters. The two letters are standardized provincially, so all principals within the province would be receiving some version of the letter that you're receiving to principals, to school administration, and vice principals as well, of course, and then the one from principals to teachers or to school staff. So, though the letters are standardized, I wanted to take a couple minutes and talk you through it just to make sure that I filled in a couple of the questions perhaps that you may have around these two letters. Permit me to read through parts of the letter, and I'm on the letter now. Letter for TCRCE School Administration, March 20th, 2020. I encourage you to read the letter a couple times, but even before that, please provide me a moment to describe in just a little bit more detail what's happening within the letter. There's a preamble where we go over what I think, what you already know, things like the health and safety of our students and staff is our top priority, of course. We're working with PSANS, NSTU, and other union partners to develop a plan moving forward. And what we know right now is school is closed until April 6th, at the very least, 2020. So all those things are things that you already knew. Some pieces that you may have some questions on start with the subheading access to the school building. So within that, I'm just going to read through and again perhaps provide a couple details that may be of assistance. So it says, we understand that many of you and our school staff will need access to the school to get essential technology or material to allow work from home. To ensure, we can facilitate this in a manner that respects social distancing and all COVID protocols, we're asking that staff book appointments with you over the next week, March 23rd to 27th, to come into the school to collect essential items. Operation staff will be present to manage the necessary cleaning protocols. So the bottom line is next week is the only time that teachers can come in to get things. And same goes for you as well. So what we're asking you to do is reach out to your staff. What you would do is send the letter, which is the letter that's also attached to this email. I'll talk about that in just a moment. And then ask them to book appointments with you. So how you want to book the appointments are up to you, but the intent is to ensure that you stagger them so there are as few people in the building at any time as possible. So obviously you wouldn't tell everybody come in Monday morning. You would purposely stagger the visits so there's only one teacher there at a time if possible. You do not need to be there all the time during these visits. There will be a custodian on site as long as you're the person who, creates the appointments and makes sure that you don't have two or three teachers in the building at the same time. So we're going to leave it to you as to how you'd like to schedule them. But again, I encourage you, don't rush through them too quickly, as that'll encourage more people to be in the building than is necessary. Of course, we want to follow the public health protocols, which is social distancing. There's a letter we need you to send off to your staff today that goes over this whole process. Many parts of the letter are similar to the letter that I'm referring to now. I'm going to ask you please not to forward this whole email because it had two attachments. It had the letter for you as school admin, and then it also has a letter titled TCRCE Principal Letter to Staff, March 20th. That's the one we want you to send to your staff. Again, the one that's titled TCRC Principal Letter to Staff. So if you have any other questions as you read through that section, which again is titled Access to School Building, please feel free to reach out to me. Please feel free to reach out to Jared as well if you have any questions about that. I think the second paragraph of that is pretty self-explanatory. For example, refrain from opening up areas that would encourage people to congregate, like putting snacks in a staff room or something like that. We want to, of course, adhere to all public health protocols, and that includes social distancing. So there's some more about that within the letter. There's also, a piece around elementary report cards, what the expectation is. There'll be more on that next week. There's some stuff around grade 12 students, very particular to grade 12 students. we need you to do something else. And what we need you to do early next week is reach out to your grade 12 students and see if there's anybody who does not have access to technology at home, such as a laptop, a Chromebook, things like that. If we do not, if we have some grade 12 students who do not have access to technology at home, we're going to loan them a Chromebook is basically what's going to happen, and that's happening across the province. So we need a couple days to plan that. Tech is prepping for this right now. They've already started. We're going to help in developing a process for you for signing them out. We have the Chromebooks at Hebron right now, and we'll get them to you. We just need to figure out how many students and which students require technology because they don't currently have it at home. So we don't want to give out a Chromebook to every grade 12. We want to identify grade 12 students who do not have access to technology, and we want to provide it to them. So that'll take a couple days to get going. The first step, of course, is you figuring out how many grade 12s, if you have grade 12s in your school, would require a Chromebook. Let us know, and then from there what will happen is we'll make the arrangements over the course of next week. All of this won't happen on Monday, but I would like you to start trying to figure out which grade 12s would need one, and we'll send some follow-up emails to the senior high principals around that, but I just wanted to say a few words just to fill in a gap or two around that particular piece. So again, what I would encourage you to do is read through the letter titled Letter for TCRCE School Administration, March 20th. I hope I filled in a couple of the details. One big piece, folks, that we're really going to have to focus on over the next couple of weeks is it's going to be an area of growth for all of us, and it's leading in times of ambiguity. So that whole idea that we don't have all the answers right now, there's lots that we don't know, and there's more that we'll find out that we don't know as we start this process. But again, it's back to staying calm, embracing ambiguity, understanding that we're not going to get it right the first time, and that we'll make some mistakes as we try to figure all this out. But we're going to do this together, and we're going to be okay. So things will really start to roll next week in terms of providing access so teachers can get in, get what they need, get out. We need your help and your leadership in organizing these visits. We need your help and leadership if you're in senior high of making sure that our grade 12s have technology. I know there's a lot of questions, and we're going to answer them all. But again, what we want to do is basically embrace the ambiguity, understand that we're doing the best we can under some unprecedented circumstances, and we're going to get through this, folks. So I appreciate in advance all the work you're going to do next week around that. I want to be clear. Just because staff are going in to get technology does not mean you need to stay there the whole time. If you're comfortable going in at times, obviously follow all the public health protocols. If you're in self-isolation yourself because you've traveled, obviously don't go in. And please ensure, it's also in the letter to staff, that if anybody should be isolated, that they are. And just because we're arranging these visits doesn't mean that we're, not considering all the public health protocols. Of course we are. So I look forward to the conversation next week on the phone and the questions that'll come as a result of it. I recognize that, again, this letter doesn't fill in all the gaps. No letter would. And so I just need you to be flexible, calm, patient with people as they have questions, and as I know you'll be. And so we'll all grow as leaders as we work through this process. So I look forward to speaking with you next week, and have a great weekend, folks. See ya.